Hey, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. As always, thank you all for the support. Can't believe we hit 200 subscribers just the other day. I want to thank each and every one of you for subscribing to me. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope to continue living up to the great content we've been pushing out. Today we are going to be jumping into a 3 versus 3 mid-war domination match, something we actually haven't featured on the channel here before. It's not my normal go-to mode, but in bigger team games like this, it can definitely be a lot of fun. I do find it to be a bit more relaxing for me, and it's not as stressful. You're almost always guaranteed to go the full length of the match. But in this one, you do see kind of a textbook example of what not to do in multiplayer, specifically domination. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. With this one, we are on the Elenskaya map. We've got Captain Cake, Gargoyle Standstill, and La Charleston Milk on the opposing side as the allies. We've got Yagari Pro and a guy named Vashwars on our team. We went with the Germans, and we are starting off with what's probably a typical strategy, I think, for a lot of players in domination. Especially on bigger maps, they'll usually spawn a squad and then rush a bike or a jeep out to like a central point on the map, or like Yagari's calling out the main point. Since I spawned in the middle, I am opting to go towards the middle, and on this map, what is probably one of the more defining features, this kind of hilly raised church area. Controlling this church is very important, I find, so I want to get kind of a really good control here if I can, and then I'll push out to the points as I can from there. So I'm going to get one of the recon guys in the church tower. I'm grabbing the MG off the bike. I'm going to set that guy up, and then I am going to destroy the bike and get the other guy set up there. But I'm not sure if you guys saw when I was driving the bike in first person up here. A tactic that I've found to be really helpful and very speedy is if you hold left shift when you're controlling it, you'll actually go quicker. This will happen on roads, but you can also do it, off-road. But I have found that there is a slight speed boost when holding left shift. So that is something I try to do often if I can. But we do have our first contact here. We rush up pretty far, and Captain Cake, playing as the British, unfortunately does some pretty significant damage here to us, which is really unfortunate. We're going to try to hold this as long as we possibly can with the guys that we have, so I am going to start pulling as many back as possible, and we've absolutely got to get another squad up here as quickly as possible, because like I was saying, I do not want to lose this middle. Whoever kind of controls the middle has a pretty good vantage point looking down into each side's home point. So it's pretty tough with the way the hill is angled and the elevation to recap it. So I'm going to try to hold this as much as possible. Yagari's going on the left flank, and unfortunately it looks like he is getting pushed out on that side, since he's the only one going for it. And it looks like Vashwars is right now just at our home point, which isn't the best. Hopefully he'll move out of that, but really as of now we kind of have to focus on our side. I would have loved to have helped Yagari out if I could, and I am going to send a squad that way to see if I can still, but as of now, it's very likely we do lose the first point out, which will put us at a disadvantage, unfortunately. Because each time you do cap in domination, you obviously get a manpower boost. So we could have used that boost right off the bat to definitely funnel in more infantry, because we need it in the middle. But we'll have to kind of make do with what we can with this reinforcement squad. But thankfully with mid-war, the squads are very large compared to late war. So we will have quite a few guys to kind of funnel in on the sides here. And hopefully we can, at the very least, man these walls and just kind of contest Captain Cake on the other side here. And we're still looking at the mini-map. I mean, Yagari's pretty much gotten absolutely rinsed on that left side as we do lose that first point. Vashwar's hasn't really seen much action. He brought up a bike to kind of support us in the middle, which is appreciated, but he's kind of just blobbed up in the home point, which you kind of don't want to do. He's just kind of letting the guy that he should be facing get up really far, as we can now see on the mini-map. There is a guy pretty much out by where his flank guy is for whatever reason. So you don't want to be passive, and LaCharles and Milk does call it out as he's bunkering down in the HQ. It's not what you want to do in Domination. Not what you want to do in battle zones either, really. You want to get in front of the points, but yeah, Vashwar's is just kind of giving up half the map at this point. And as we can see, LaCharles and Milk is really kind of utilizing it. So I'm trying to ping him to get this new point that spawned on that side of the map, because he should be pushing it as we get to tier 1. We saw that he had dug some mines on the home point, which, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It might be helpful for anyone that's rushing it. Our second squad did not make it out to help Yagari, and Yagari has pretty much been completely wiped out on this flank, so now we are completely alone. And we can see to the northwest that they are taking advantage of that and pushing up further. So I've got to kind of dedicate a little bit of time until Yagari gets some units up here, just trying to get in position that I can kind of delay their push, because I don't want to give them the wiggle room to really advance on us. And we can see on our right flank of the hill, they are absolutely taking advantage of Vashwar's kind of very defensive status, or stance, I guess. And they are pushed up right outside of our home point on the flank of the hill. So we're now kind of being hit from, at the very least, 2 sides. Thankfully, we've got guys out on the left, so we could have been, 3 sides hitting us on the church and just getting absolutely rinsed. But we do have a pretty nice, sizable force here for the time being. So I'm going to have some guys laying down. I'm going to have some guys manning the walls. I'm going to have some guys in the back that I can just bring up as needed. I don't want to completely funnel everyone up to the front walls and lose guys just kind of willy-nilly like that. Especially with how heavy they are pushing this hill, because they are playing it right. They know this hill is important. And we can see there is a Vickers light tank also coming up now. Each of our opponents are playing one of the allied nations, so it's a very mixed bag of troops, and they're kind of complementing each other with what they're taking. I'm again calling out Vashwar's that we need to push, or this is kind of over. This guy's got to move. He can't just keep him there. I'm assuming that's his light armored car. It looks like a 222 up at the top right of the map. So he's at least trying something. We could see based on that quick view at the scorecard, we are pretty much doing everything with 27 kills. And we did call in a 2-3-1 to try to counter this Vickers light AA. After the early war game the other day, the 2-3-1 seems to be a very good counter to British light vehicles. So hopefully this thing will do the same. I'm not too worried about the Vickers at the very least. Looks like something may have happened on one of the flanks with Gargoyle saying something. But yeah, it looks like there's a light tank now pushing Vashwar's. So he's got no infantry out there. Looks like he may have just called the squad up based on the minimap, but I mean, he's going to lose that point, and then we're going to go down, unfortunately, 2-0. So this is kind of part 1 of what not to do in Domination. It's okay to, in a way, like, set a line. You want to keep pushing the points, and this is really what they're doing fairly well. They're kind of tag teaming the points, our opponents, and kind of pushing, two people at the same time for a point, and then just kind of filling in the lines as they need to. That's the way that you should play it. At this point, we just kind of need to push and establish a line, and then we can kind of, make concentrated efforts for the points as they pop up. Because without a line on the right, they're just going to put constant pressure on our home point. And we do see a bomb come in from Captain Cake. Doesn't do much, thankfully. So we'll hit him with an affirmative. And we're going to bring in an MG to try to secure this right side of the hill at the very least. A MG-34. But the 2-3-1 was definitely the right call so far. It has definitely put in some work for us, thankfully. Especially with taking out the Vickers and clearing out a decent amount of the infantry. I'm going to try to continue just peppering these bushes because they are natural cover, and it's pretty easy just to call in a squad and then, you know, right click, drag across the bushes, so there's likely to be someone in them unless they're, you know, microing and moving them as needed. We're doing fairly well holding this point, although they are pretty much pushing us back. They've at least pushed back our main line, and another point pops on the right close to us. I'm gonna bring in a squad to try to help since Bashwar is not really able to push, it looks like. He still hasn't moved his initial squad out of the home point though, so I think if he was putting pressure with that squad, it might be a little bit different of a story. But we need to secure a point here soon, because as of this point, we're going to let them go up three on us in terms of points, and that's just extra manpower that they're yet again getting. So they'll just be able to continue funneling infantry and potentially getting vehicles before we can, because they'll have reserves. One guy could save, and you know, as soon as a medium tank opens, you know, they'll just be able to call it a medium tank, and we really won't have anything to counter it. But as you can see, we tank a Piat round since they are weaker in mid-war. We're running away from a BT-7. I'm going to try to get a AT grenade on it, but I don't think I'll be able to, considering the angle and how far I've got to run. I'm going to try. Yeah, he's going to back up. If he had shot that earlier, maybe we could have kept running, but oh well. This scared him off for a minute. But now we really have to focus on our home point. I was going to try to push further, but I mean, they are pretty much right outside of it. They're in the compound, you know, adjacent to it. They're actually flanking behind Vashwar's. That's probably a Panzerjäger mid-war, I believe. So I mean, they're at our home point. So if this kind of continues, the game's probably over. This is kind of one of the reasons I don't like Domination all that much, is because all it really takes is one weaker chain in the link, and then look at this. He's gone full last stand mode, and he's fully encased off the right side with tank traps. Please do not do this. It's okay. I would even say it's okay to build defenses at times. Like, I'm for it. I will mine off points. I'll take engineers and build up the home point. You can do that if you didn't know by right-clicking on the home point itself, the home point flag, and it will build defenses and give you an ammo crate there. Do not build tank traps across the whole right side of the map, from, you know, the border edge to, you know, wherever you can. It's not really beneficial, and he's also kind of just he's gotten rid of a lane that he could have ran up, or, you know, taken vehicles up now. So now he's got to kind of utilize the road, or wherever he hasn't built them, whatever that pathing is going to take him. And with the way that they're pushing on the map, it's just gonna he's just gonna be running right into the line of sight of, you know, the enemy infantry at this point, with the hive mind capability, because they are all in those compounds, in the buildings. Everything to the left of where his squads are on that road up ahead is pretty much enemy contested gray zone. I would even say they have it at this point. I don't even think it's gray zone. So don't do that. But Gargoyle's taken some questionable shots, 200 range. Clearly he's trying to ping the 231 with some cheeky far shooting. I stopped to see if he's going to do it again, but he does wisely back off. This was a little cheesy, but I mean, nothing came of it, so it's kind of fine. At this point, I'm trying to still hold the middle, but I can't really call in reinforcements to the middle because I have to now dedicate precious manpower and resources to our home point and the right. Yugari's doing a fairly decent job at pushing back. Looks like he did call it a lug, and that is making some significant work. And he's able to just, you know, kind of slowly push. So he's doing a fairly decent job, but we have to get this right side under control. And it's got to be soon. Because points are just going to continue spawning on the right. They spawn diagonally on this map. They're not going to spawn close to the home point, like behind it. So we need to push out to that southeast side as quickly as we can. But they pushed in an M20. We did take that out, thankfully, with the 2-3-1. I'm backing up before the BT-7 can come back and target me. We're holed in the middle still, but there's a massive wave of infantry coming, and we're kind of really faltering there as we get to tier 2. The next spawn point does come up, and we are already in it. I do ping it so that Yugari can kind of move some guys in here, because I do not have the capabilities to kind of deal with it right now. I can't micro the three sections, unfortunately. I wish I could. I'm going to try, but my focus was on middle, and now it kind of has to be on the right. But with tier 2, I'm going to pull in the Sturmpanzer to kind of help bombard the infantry. And then I am bringing in an F2, Panzer IV F2 as well, to try to deal with these light tanks. And I am crawling up a flamethrower. I wanted to get him closer to deal with the BT. And then I see a nice juicy quad here. So we're going to try to take it out. Get a little too close to the fence, unfortunately. We do decrew it. We get the Jeep as well. I don't know if it's on fire or not. It doesn't look like it based on... it might be. I don't know what model that is, but I try to get closer. And unfortunately, the guys behind the building do get me. The BT's going to deal with Vashwars. So I'm going to try to bring the Panzer IV up behind him to help, but he's probably going to lose that Stug, unfortunately, because he's got no infantry support there, and they just have, you know, obviously like an easy line of sight, and 3 light tanks hitting him right now. Yugari's dealing with a medium tank of his own on the left, which is unfortunate. Looks like he's bringing up probably a Panzer III or 4 as well to deal with that, hopefully. And we're going to try to put some shots downrange with the Bison now. Here and there as we can, but I still have to dedicate most of my time to dealing with this right flank as it is completely falling. And as we can see on the mini-map, like, that's what I'm saying. They've got a complete line across the map of infantry. They're playing it right, because those spawn points are just going to go straight across the map like that. They're cutting it right down the center. And this is going to be very easy for them to continue capping them, as they are out to a very good lead so far. 421 to 97. It's very unfortunate for us. And they are right out of our home point. So we need to do something quick. And they're going to get the left point now, since Yugari's unable to push it. And I can't dedicate anything as I just stop to watch. Vashwar is now barbed wire off the right side of the map, where there's really not going to be anything pushing. Please don't do this. Build the defenses around the home point. I would prefer that. I would think that would be more effective at stopping anything coming in, or at least like putting it in an area of the map that you can kind of create like a bottleneck or a chokehold. Barbed wiring and hedgehogging off the right side of the map isn't going to do much, since they can just push into our main point. So at this point, I really don't think this game is going to go far, as we're heavily doing work with the infantry numbers at the very least. The vehicles are kind of okay. Yugari's pulling his weight as well on the left, and he is pushing at the very least, so we can't really complain there. But again, it's all going to come down to capping these points, as I'm assuming Yugari calls it out. But I mean, I have to go right at this point and try to hold middle. I wish I could help him, but I can't. Vashwars is just pushing in a squad to the home point. I'm bringing a squad into the home point. He should really, at this point, he should be focusing more on the right side and regaining that ground. but I guess I'll help him as best as I can for now. So I am going to dig into some of these guys. And we do have a BT-7 coming. I'm going to switch to the Panzer IV and try to deal with this. We get a nice shot. He also has a Panzer II, which between the two tanks we should be able to take it out, and we do. Then I see a M10 racing down the street. I'm going to get first shot. We do hit him, so I'm feeling pretty confident. We didn't do major damage. When we get the second shot, we somehow missed with the accuracy boost. It looks like it was right on it. Third shot, we miss again, and we get a loader killed and engine damage. So I should be zooming in at this point onto the tank to try to get a little more accurate. We do get another shot. I'm going to quickly try to repair it. I see a plane coming in. I know it's for me at this point. So I'm going to try to get the 231 to shoot it down. I doubt it will work. And I'm going to try now, because I'm kind of thinking this is done. I'm going to try to take out the M10 completely if I can. I think I'm going to get one more shot. Nice. We set it on fire. So M10 is done. We won't have to worry about them repairing that, even though they do have a BT-7 coming up. And that bomb actually didn't take out the Panzer IV completely. It just missed. So it is still up. We're going to bring some tank crewmen in. And then the BT-7 is unfortunately rushing our lines. So looks like both Vashwars and myself are rushing infantry to try to get anti-tank grenades on it. The 231 is also helping out a little bit here. I'm going to bring the Bison up kind of a little further to the middle and Yagari to try to help him, as Yagari now has a point that spawned on his side. And it looks like he is able to get there at the very least, and hopefully his supporting vehicles will be able to apply pressure and take that, because we need one. I've pretty much given up on middle, and I'm going to try to just shell it here and there now until we have the right kind of more lockdown at this point. I really can't dedicate resources to both as we lose the 2. I believe that's an M8 Greyhound that did that. Not full damage, so we can repair it, and the crewmen are here, so we will repair both, try to get both of those back up. And we're going to call in some Fallschirmjäger to try to fill this big gap to the left of the Bison, because I do not want to lose that. Last thing I need is an infantry rush and lose my DP vehicle. And right now I'm just kind of banking on the Tiger. I do have plenty of DP. I could still buy something else. I didn't buy anything for tier 1, but I don't really know if there's any need to at the moment. I'm just going to take up CP that I probably need for infantry, because it looks like Vashwars is just going kind of heavy vehicles at this point, continually buying tanks. And it looks like there's an 18-pounder artillery as well, unfortunately. That does take out the MG. So MG is down for now, but we'll just continue trying to funnel guys in and repair it. And they are making a very heavy push on our point, but looks like he does have a Panzer IV F1 that is hopefully going to be able to take out the vehicles on the right and then deal with some of that infantry with the HE. But this is not looking the best. Like I was saying earlier, as we missed that shot. Terrible. I should have waited. I didn't wait for the accuracy. As I was saying earlier, it's just kind of unfortunate with domination sometimes when you do unfortunately get a teammate that, not terrible, but you know, they're not really able to pull their own weight on their flank, and then you kind of have to dedicate the resources to help them, because otherwise the game is over. You really need to be able to push each side and hold, because they're just pushing so much pressure on our our home point from the southeast side that now I'm giving up middle when I could be pushing the middle and trying to create a spearhead into their point, or helping out Yagari on his flank more. It's like the most I can really do at this point is hold the right and just kind of contend with the middle for now. But we'll make do. We're going to call in a vet rifleman squad and kind of fill in the line on the right. As the 231 is back up, thankfully. I do not want to lose the right, and if I have to dedicate more resources to it, I will. So we can see based on this plan that is going over, they have a decent spread going all the way back to the far right. The middle of the map is completely contested, and they are digging in as well. So it is going to be a lot harder to push them out. Yagari did get the point on the left, so we did get a nice manpower boost, thankfully. So we did get some points. Some additional MP came in there. And now the point is spawning right in the center. And if I was there contesting it, it would have been a lot better. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. I may have to leave that be. Yagari's asking for some fire support dealing with the light howitzer so that he can push. So I am going to try to bring up the 231 to deal with that while coordinating the Bison to kind of go head-to-head there. And I'm going to slowly continue moving that squad up on the right as well to get ground. But we'll see if we can direct control this thing. If I can take this out, that might help Yagari push. We get a hit, and then unfortunately we don't tank that Piot. So we do lose the 231. I'm going to see if I can maybe... Yeah, I can. I'm going to get the repair kits out. I'm going to get everything out of this thing, so if they do decide to repair it, they have to bring up a truck or some other vehicle with repair kits to do so. Just in case Yagari does lose that flank. I don't want them using that against us. Turns out the Bison's out of ammo, so I am going to bring it back to the ammo crate I called in to get some. And I am going to continue focusing on this point now. I'm kind of giving up on the middle. I should probably be focusing on the middle, but we have no one focusing on the right, as Vashwar's is pushing a Panzer IV deep behind their lines, going for the artillery, I guess. If that thing doesn't get full killed, I mean, he's just kind of giving them a Panzer IV, which isn't the best. But we are now reaching their line of contact, unfortunately. So this is as far as we can go for now. We're going to try to continue getting up further. And I'm going to try to move some of these guys into the middle, although it is a bit too late now, as they are going to cap this one, unfortunately. So that will be another point that we do unfortunately lose out on. So we are going to have a lot of ground to make up if we even can at this point. We'll have to play pretty much flawlessly. There might be a slight chance we can... there would have been a slight chance we could flip it if the Panzer II did not go down. And our couple Fallschirmjäger do not get there in time. So unfortunate. They just have numbers in the middle now. And we can also see what appears to be a medium tank as well coming from that east side. So we will probably have to deal with that since there is no friendly armor on this half of the map at this point. Yagari's doing a great job at kind of securing his line, thankfully. So he's pushed, and now he's kind of collapsing in on the north side towards their spawn. We do see it's a T-34, so we're going to hold off for now. I was going to push it, but frontal engagement alone, I don't want to risk losing the Panzer IV right now. Looks like Vashwar's probably did call in a medium tank of his own, so we'll probably look to take advantage of the situation and see if we can deal with it at that point. Maybe 2-on-1. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to deal with some of these British guys that are just kind of in between the lines here. Because if we can take this compound dead ahead, and I'm trying to create some line of sight for this guy in the building by taking out those fences. If we can create a good line there, we'll start to close in on their home point in their half of the map. And at some point, we probably need to go for their home point, because with this lead, I don't think we'll unfortunately be able to come back by capping the points, capping the spawn points. So we do see some special ops recon here, so I absolutely want to deal with them. If they do get behind the lines, they are a major pain to deal with because of their sneak boost, their stealth boost. It is incredibly hard to deal with them. They can do some real good damage. And Vashwarz is driving his Panzer IV, giving the T-34 his side armor. He does ultimately turn. We get a first shot off on the T-34. Second shot bounces. Looks like we did track. Yeah, we tracked, and he is out. I'm going to try to get a shot on the guy repairing, but we missed somehow. I don't know how we missed on that one. I'm going to call in another squad to the right, because I want to make a full push there and try to finally control what we should have had at the beginning of the game. And I am going to bring up the Bison to try to deal with this T-34, because I don't think we're going to be able to deal with it frontally. And we do get a very nice shot that does decrew it and hole crush it. So the T-34 is down. There's another spawn point in the middle, and it looks like Yagari is unfortunately dealing with some heavy tanks on that left side, and pretty much all of his armor is taken out at this point, although he is the support doctrine, so he did get the Panther. That is the other doctrine that I usually like to go in mid-war as well. I think the early Panther is pretty nice. I prefer a Panther over a Tiger in most games, I'd say. Just by preference alone. The Panther's so quick. The Tiger, I know, does have the superior gun and superior armor, but teach their own. So I did go the offensive doctrine, though, because I knew Yagari was going the support, and I figured one of us should have a Tiger out on the field just in the off chance there's some armor that we really can't deal with. So I am holding it for now. I've got no real armor targets to deal with. Still trying to work the middle with that new point, and I should probably be focusing a little more there. So this is kind of my error. I need to be focusing on that side at the time being, because I have guys all around it. We could easily be flipping that point. So I need to do that, and I realize it, so I'm just going to make a line for now with this vet infantry. I'm going to smoke out and then dig foxholes everywhere. And we'll just hold off advancing for the moment. I'm going to bring the Bison back up. I did call in an ammo truck as well. I'm going to try to get some of these Fallschirmjäger that are lying around and Grossdeutschland in. Although they have significant cap weight, unfortunately. So I don't think we'll get this one either. That guy tanks the grenade behind the wood. So it's -3, but we still don't have numbers, unfortunately. Now up to -5. So I'll bring in the Tiger, just have it in the back line, just in case we need to respond in any direction with it. We've pretty much dug in, and we're going to try to maybe make a push in middle. Schwartz is moving up his Panzer IV. And it looks like there is a light vehicle on the right. Is that a BA-10, I believe? So we are going to bring over the Panzer IV to deal with that. And once again, the middle is kind of our weak point now. Now that I've got the right under control, the middle is becoming a problem. Vashwarz did lose his Panzer IV because I think he probably pushed a little too far up without true infantry support with the hill there. We do miss the first shot, unfortunately, with the Panzer IV. Trying to see if he was going to go forward. I was waiting for him. He does not. didn't know if I could hit him through this wood building, but it turns out we can easily penetrate from this distance. So first shot hits him, second shot does take him out. The hole is broken. Get a third shot. I was hoping that would have killed it, but it does not. So that was slightly unfortunate. Fourth shot does not go through, so that one did fail. I'm going to call in some Fallschirmjäger to kind of reinforce the points and areas between Yagari and I. I'm going to try to break that line, and then if I can, that should allow us to make a push on their home point, which would be fantastic. And I'm also going to focus on the complete opposite side of the map as well. I'm going to make sure all these guys are grouped together and healed in the meantime. So they don't have much. They got a ton of infantry in the middle, and a new spawn point comes in here, and they are already there because they've had this area contested the entire time. I'm going to run this guy in and see what the cap weight is. It's -5, so I know I got to get more guys in. Bring up these two. And I'm going to move up these guys to kind of refill their position. So there's a ton of infantry in between. And we'll try to get these guys in as quickly as possible as well. And I want to get this guy out of this building because he's just giving them line of sight on anything Yagari brings in. Because he's got to go right past this building at this point. So having that guy there is just giving them free intel. And I'm going to see if I can get up. I know they're on the other side because this is a big point. Unfortunately, the tank crew is going to waste us as we run across. So hopefully we can deal with him. And I'm going to bring in a 2-2-1 just to cause havoc like the BA-10 did. And hopefully deal with most of this infantry over there. And with the Fallschirmjäger, we are now going to make a push here. Because Yagari's doing a great job. He's pushed pretty far up. Pretty sure the Panther's probably doing some work for him. And if we can clear out this compound, we'll be able to finally put some pressure on them, which we should have been doing earlier, but they kind of had pressure on us the entire game for the most part. And unfortunately, they've reinforced this point now, so there is no way that I will be able to kind of clear it, along with bringing in, what do you know, a Panzer IV. Wonder where they got that from. So Panzer IV F1 is going to make short work of the infantry with the HE barrel on it, so that will be very unfortunate. And it'll probably deal with the 2-2-1 as well if I'm not careful. So I'm going to try to bring up my Panzer IV to deal with it. We should be able to pen it easily. And I am going to bring the Tiger over as well. So my flank. We're going to do a little direct control action. Take out some of this infantry. Because once I clear out this infantry, my plan is to move fully into this position and take this. And I'm hoping I won't give it back within the next 12 minutes of the game. We missed with the first shot. I think it was a little quick. Fortunately, as we can see in the kill feed, Yagari did lose the Panther. It was probably tracked, and then they called in a plane on it. So, very unfortunate. We did lose a very significant support piece at this point. I'm going full in with the vet infantry to secure that point. Tried to take a shot, but we don't pen the wood pile. And I am going to bait with the 2-2-1 and try to support this infantry as they push up. And we will also call in some tank crew. Maybe we can get this Stug up and running. Another vehicle up. Another tank. Might be beneficial for us. Panzer IV is trying to take some shots at us. Thankfully he misses. That's very good for us. Try to get this guy out of here. Misses again. Very lucky there. And we're going to bring up the Panzer IV as well to deal with this. So I know he's still there. We take a shot. We do miss. He bounces off us. He was trying to get some AT infantry up close, which would have been able to do it with the bazooka, but thankfully having infantry nearby, we were able to deal with that. He did engine the 221, so that is unfortunate. I'm going to bring in the Tiger as well. Get that thing up here. Bison's still just kind of camped out in the middle, hanging out. Looks like we've got more infantry, probably another bazooka, and he's actually playing a very smart move, and he made a hole in the fence, so I immediately decided to back up because I don't want to risk losing that. Thankfully, we can kind of cut him off here with this infantry. He's making a run at us. And we did get the Panzer IV as well. And I don't know if you saw that on the kill feed, but I don't know what he was shooting at, but Vashar's decided to take out the Bison for some reason. So I didn't notice this in the game until after the recording because I was so busy microing over here. But he did kill us. He did decrew it looks like. Might still be alive. We're going to try to cap this point on the right to give us the extra manpower boost and to get some points up on the board. I noticed the Sternpanzer's decrewed. I've got no crewman that I can call in, so I'm going to grab a rifleman and then decrew the truck, or the ammo truck, and get this guy in, so at least I have guys in it. He's calling in a plane on this right side, and I have no idea what it's going for. Could be one of multiple targets. Panzer IV is back in action on their side. Looks like the plane's going for the Stug, so I guess he saw that I was repairing it. So, not the worst thing in the world. Wasn't even mine to begin with. Bison's back up. We're going to bring it back and around to hold on my flank. We're going to switch over to AP and try to deal with these two Vics on the side. Panzer IV gets a nice shot on the other Panzer IV, and we do decrew it. Completely blow it up. We've got another medium tank coming. It is a T-34 as well. So we've got an Su-76 and a T-34 to deal with over there. We get a nice shot on the Su-76. I don't think we de-gunned it, or we broke the gun, but we definitely did some damage there. Enough to make him back up. And we do miss with the second shot, unfortunately. And this is where things in the game, I'd say, probably we should have switched our approach. With the point differential and how much time is left, this is probably the #1 mistake on my end. I should have given up on this flank. I should have just pulled back, capped this point with the guys that are there in the 221, taken this other squad that I just called in, and pushed with Yagari. I think I didn't realize how much time was left and how wide the point differential was, truthfully, because at this point, there is no way that there will be enough capture points that come up, or vehicles on the map, or any value, for us to destroy and catch up point-wise. We should have immediately switched gears and gone full into a push on their home point. So this is absolutely my mistake. Definitely just time management issues and not realizing how much time and the point differential is on the clock. So big fail. We're going to get this one easily, thankfully. We get a really nice grenade there on the squad he rushed in and try to decap. And I'm rushing the Panzer IV over, because he's out of AP, to this ammo cache. I know the T-34 is back there. He thankfully misses. I'm loaded with heat. I'm going to burn the shot now on the building. Immediately switch. And hopefully He misses. I'm going to call in the Tiger and just right click him to try to get it over here. But we get a nice shot with this Vet Panzer IV at this point. Still up though. And for some reason we switched to HE. I wonder if the ammo's out. Further than that, I figured we would have had a couple more shots at least. But he's gunned us. So I'm going to bring the Tiger around to deal with that, and I'm calling in another squad into kind of the middle between our point and where we're currently engaged. So definitely needed to have paid a little more attention to where we're at point-wise. I mean, we're 755 to 1250. He did just take out, or he's almost taken out the Panzer IV. And we bounce with the Tiger. I got no repair kits in this thing either from earlier, so I gotta sneak repair kits out of the 221. And we get a crazy shot with the Tiger and make that thing blow up. So T-34 is down. Su-76 is still kicking around somewhere. I'm pushing up here. He's got infantry all over the place. We're getting shelled by the heavy arty as well. And I'm just dedicating way too much time on this flank when there's no point. With 5 minutes left, it should be full on going into their home point. I should complete whiff on my end for not seeing that. Because I could have brought the Bison and the Tiger over there, helped Yagari, and then helped Yagari deal with the, what is that, Churchill, I believe? Churchill or a KV. And then whatever that other medium tank is. And that would have been a lot better than just kind of wasting time on this point. Or this side of the map. Completely other end from where their home point is. So definitely a pretty big error, judgment error on my part here. But I'm still having to kind of reinforce our home point, or right outside our home point. Because Vashar's is just not pushing. He's got a squad just sitting in there, which, I mean, I guess is fine, but like he should also be pushing towards their home point. And between Yagari and Vashar's, I don't think it's Yagari. I think it's probably Vashar's that brought his guys over there. But like we're not capping that other spawn point that popped up. So like we're just kind of wasting precious time and points that we could be gaining on him. Because we've gotten the last couple of zones, which has been a pretty big boost for us. And Yagari does call it out that it is missing, and Vashar's does have a truck and a Nebel, so I'll bring over a couple guys and try to cap as quickly as we can. He does have the SU, looks like he pushed up, so we are going to go at it with both the Tiger and the Panzer IV. And I'm going to push up this infantry. Ooh, might be able to sneak a shot. Fence tanks it, but thankfully the Panzer IV is there to put a shot in it. And we've done so much damage on this right flank that we're now kind of able to just really steadily move in and kind of close ground, which, I mean, if we didn't have to do this late in the game, if we'd done it in the beginning, we would have had a really nice setup. And Yagari is calling out the home point at this point. So that we make a push, and he does say let's move in, because I mean what else can we do at this point now, right? So I'm gonna bring anyone I've got over here in. All these guys on the right flank aren't really gonna be doing much at this point. I'm gonna burn a 222 and try to bring that over to help, but even with 2.5 minutes left, getting everything on this flank across the map to their home point, it isn't really going to be possible, especially with these reinforcements coming in. And they've got a ton at their home point, as you can see. They're just kind of dug in with kind of the wasted time that they kind of managed, or we've kind of managed on this right side. So very unfortunate. I'm going to bring in the Panzer IV and try to deal with the artillery that they have Looks like it's probably a priest, I believe, if I saw that right. Looks like a priest. So we do get a pretty nice shot on it. We do immediately beat through it and hull break it. I'm going to try to fully take it out, but I can't. We also got to try to get away from this crewman with the TNT as he's chasing us down. I'm looking to see what other targets I can get, because now it's just mainly take out as many targets as possible. We fire through the priest, and I think we tracked the Valentine, but he does get a crazy shot on us. There's the heavy already running. And fortunately, with a minute left, this will be game. Pretty nice game from us, 253 infantry kill-wise and 9 vehicle kills. Vashtor's didn't break 100, unfortunately, so that did kind of skew the battle in terms of how much of an uphill battle it was. And this is stuck to an anti-tank grenade right there. Probably Hawkins' mine, I think, from either the British or the Americans. We're going to lose the Panzer II there, but this is game, unfortunately. So we are going to go out with a loss. We brought it back respectably, but, you know, a little bit too late, and we should have definitely put more pressure on their home point and the right side from the get-go. But, yeah, big drawback, please, for anyone watching, dig in where it makes sense. If you've got to dig in or want to dig in, do it when it makes sense. Do it where it makes sense. Don't just pick a random like side of the map and go towards the middle. And push. Always push. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Something a little different from the Battle Zones content, but there will be more. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching. Appreciate it as always.